Because we have a very special guest zooming in live from the USA. Put him on, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump Jr. is live from Trump. Brother, how are you? Thanks for coming back on. What a week it's been over there. I saw your dad, the great president, Donald Trump. I saw him on CNN and I was shocked. I thought it was a joke because he's forever said CNN is fake news. And then he went on there and then there was that upstart lady on there that tried to be all impressive and boss. But that didn't work out really well for her. She's like the laughingstock of the media industry now.
Yeah, no, listen, Donald Trump can go in the lion's den at any time and do just fine. I think we've seen that. And I think, certainly the last few weeks have been rather interesting as we've watched sort of, another conspiracy theory fall. The FBI was colluding with Obama and Joe Biden and the Clinton campaign. All the things that we said were going on for years, that we were ridiculed and lied to the American people about, are all turning out to be true, just like all the other conspiracy theories that were always obvious and always 100% true. It just took some time for them to finally come out.
Yeah, it's really weird because the Russian hoax, that was all fake. All of these things that everyone's been mocking your dad while he was president, after he lost the election. They continually say to him, you're a fake, you're this. But everything slowly, after these investigations and Congress investigations, they've bubbled up to be true, but you don't hear it advertised as much as the original lie. There must be some rule where the truth must stand forward at some stage.
Well, listen, it's not about the truth. It's about the narrative, right? If something comes out and that challenges the narrative, it must be destroyed. When something proves the narrative incorrect, we don't even cover it anymore because we don't have journalists anymore. We have propagandists. You saw that during the COVID, right? Of course, the virus originated from the Wuhan lab that studies the exact virus in question in the town that was ground zero for the virus. Of course, that was always the most plausible thing. That was always common sense and logic. And yet, if you were a doctor and you went against the narrative that said, oh, no, it came from a wet market 3 feet outside of the exact lab that studies the exact virus, you'd be thrown out of medicine. It had nothing to do with science. It had to do with the narrative. We saw that, right? If we're saying, hey, Barack Obama, the FBI, they were spying on our campaign. That turns out to be true. The people who have been screaming and yelling about democracy for the last 6 or 7 years are awfully silent now when you have unelected bureaucrats in federal law enforcement actively working to subvert the duly elected president of the United States against the will of the people, to bolster their choice candidate, Hillary Clinton. With the knowledge of now President Biden and then Vice President Biden and then sitting President Barack Obama. We all knew that it was going on. We all knew that it would happen, but it took years to figure it out. And that's the problem. We take our victory laps now. We get the win, but the reality is at the time they got everything they needed from their lies, from their subversion, from the nonsense, and the media, big tech, and, big social trillion-dollar industries gladly went along with it and made sure that narrative was the gospel.
What are we going to do there for the future? See, we sit here, Jackie, Brooklyn's our gay newsreader, Jackie and I, we sit here, we feel that we're quite in the centre of politics here. In Australian politics, there's the right, there's the left. We've got a melting pot of everyone. I'm a Trump fan. I love, making money, business owners. It's the way everyone gets to work. The more people that own businesses, the more people that have jobs. So I feel like screwing over the top end of town is what idiots do because then no one has a job. Then we've got Jackie here, who's a beautiful single mother. Brooklyn over there, and going to all the gay concerts. And
it's very fun, Donald.
And we've got a sea of different coloured folk out there, whites, browns. We try and be what society is, but we all get on, and we all respect each other's opinions. It seems to have gone so wrong in America, where if you don't think what I think, you're the enemy. Is that what's going on there?
I think without question. Don't forget. I mean, I grew up in New York City. I went to the Ivy League institutions that all the liberal elites go to. I went to school with most of them, and I used to be able to have reasonable conversations with them. I could probably put myself in their shoes and argue their standpoint a lot. But when I look at today's radical left, I'm saying, a 3-year-old, a child that should not, could not legally buy a pack of cigarettes in the United States till for another 15 years, should be able to mutilate their body to change their gender based on the whims of, I guess, their purple-haired teacher who's pushing this gender ideology down their throats, the most impressionable in our society. That's become the norm of today's radical left, and they're the ones that are in control. That there are men competing in women's sports, and yet strangely enough, the vast majority of women and the soccer moms out there in the United States are strangely silent as their daughters' scholarships are being stolen by people who were journeyman male athletes.
I think people are too scared. I think people are too scared, to say anything because of the cancel culture of all these fake groups online that squash people's careers. Now, we're very open to, if people want to change from a man to a woman, that's fine. Do I think a 6-7-year-old should? That's I don't know. I haven't experienced that, but immediately I feel no. That's too young. What do you think, Brooklyn?
Yeah,
Brooklyn's our gay expert now, trans expert.
I'm 35. I know when I was young, being gay was pretty much considered, as you are talking about trans people now.
Yeah, but
so
3-5-year-olds, Brooklyn.
Probably none of us here are trans, so we don't really understand what is going on in their minds.
But I've had sex with a trans, so I'm the closest to...
Guys, can we not fight right now?
Am I the
Donald's
closest
sitting
to
here feeling like he can't participate.
Donald's fine.
No,
Maybe he's been with the trans as well.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it, but we wouldn't let a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old make a life-changing decision like that in any other capacity, at any other stage in world history. We'd be looking. We're on the Truman Show. It has to be a joke, and it has nothing to do with allowing a child to do that. Look at the cases of recidivism. What is it, like 93% of children regret it later on, and yet the most impressionable, the most easily manipulated in society are convinced that this is the right thing. And then you have a 93% recidivism rate of them that actually regret it. Then they realize they can't have children. They can't do this. Again, if they do that as adults, that's fine. But this is a hill to die on for the radical left, that a 3-year-old must be able to make these decisions. That's lunacy. That has nothing. That's not being against the LBGT community. That child couldn't buy a pack of cigarettes, but we're going to let him make a life-altering decision. That's not reasonable anymore. And yet these are the hills to die on for the radical left. These are the things they believe must be. And that should scare a lot of people.
When you, as the Trump family, get together, are these the kind of things you talk about at the dinner table, or do you guys discuss things that might surprise us?
No, I think it's probably a lot more, listen, it's always going to be spirited, but no, I think we avoid a lot of that probably. I think we have a lot of fun. I think, whether you like my father or not, I think you see he has some, there's no shortage of personality. So I think
yes.
I think that that same mentality comes through. And so there's a lot of, I guess based on everything else we're talking about, I could say I think there's probably a lot of healthy ball breaking in good old fashioned fun.
Oh, that does sound fun.
Do you? So when you come here, what can we expect? Because you're doing quite a few shows. You're doing Sydney and then Brisbane and Melbourne.
Oh, that's what he's doing, a talk. You're coming to talk, and people are going to pay and watch. It's going to be good.
Listen, I'm going to be having a conversation that I think needs to be had. I think, whether it's the United States, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK. I mean, I think we looked at these places as sort of the bastions of freedom and democracy around the world. And then you see sort of what happened during COVID, and you see, the lockdowns and sort of pseudoscience and woke ideologies taking over. And I think that's a true threat, that the woke ideology that's just taken over every aspect of society and decision making. I don't think that bodes well for our future. So I'm going to be talking about all of those things, and that threat, because you see it every day in our decision-making process, and you see it every day while our enemies get stronger and they're laughing at us.
Can I just let you know, Donald, that a few years back, Kyle, was talking about Donald Trump, your father, so much that
big fan of Trump,
and I went to this elaborate sort of lengths to make Kyle believe that he had got an interview, or at least got your father's phone number.
Oh, that's right.
Through Omarosa.
Omarosa.
Yeah.
that little turncoat Amorosa.
We had
That's right.
Omarosa on the show,
That's
and then
right.
she was in cahoots, and yes, so
And it was
I
a phony,
fooled him.
wasn't it? Yeah.
I fooled him into believing he spoke to Donald Trump, but it was a Donald Trump impersonator, obviously.
I wonder if you'd be able to tell the difference, because I was so excited. I don't think I heard properly. have we got? Let's
I
play some of the
do.
audio
I
just
do.
see if
Have a
Donald Trump
listen.
Jr. can tell whether he would have been able to tell whether this is his father or not. Roll the tape quickly. Best day ever.
Looking good.
Hello, who is this?
Hey, it's Kyle and Jackie O.
Hi,
we
you're on
love
the
you.
air.
We love you, by the way.
Mr. Trump, hi. Sorry.
How did you get this number?
Oh,
Well, we just had Omarosa on.
yeah, she gave it to us. And, she was no fan of yours, but I've been flying the Trump flag, so...
What I will tell you is, I love the Australian people. They're great people.
I can't do this.
It's a little too exaggerated. But,
Yeah, I would agree. I think I wanted to believe.
I think I would have figured that out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Well, he is your father, but I was so swept up in the thrill of, it never happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, listen, we'll let everyone know. If you want to see Donald Trump Jr.'s show, head to trumplive.com.au. Even if you find yourself disagreeing with the Trumps, how about going along and hearing in detail what the real message is rather than the snipped out headline bullshit stories you get thrown by the media? You could learn something, or it could maybe change your mind. Thank you, Donald Trump Jr. Appreciate it, bro.
Thanks, Donald.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Bye-bye.
it. We'll talk to you soon.